What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Today, we're bringing on a guest that I thought was somewhat interesting. He had first hit me up, and I kind of brushed him off, not going to lie. And then I ended up seeing a picture of his hand, and I'm like, what happened to this kid? I got to find out. And then he tells me a couple times that, he's been hit up, he died, was brought back to life, and I wanted to know, did he see Jesus? I don't know yet, but we're going to find out today. So anyway, T, man, tell the people who you are and tell us where you're from, brother.
Man, I'm Tyler, man. I go by T.Y., man. I'm from the west side of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if you know, but my family's from Indiana, right? My mother and, my parents are from that area. And you know what?
Wow.
I got a really good friend that ended up getting a life sentence out of Indiana. He was probably the biggest weed dealer in Indiana ever, Jimmy Rowlands. I actually interviewed him on my channel, and I helped him get out of that life sentence by doing a clemency petition to Trump. But anyway, that's another story. Indiana, I've been around some dudes in the feds, man, from Indiana that were some dangerous dudes, man. They were some violent, dangerous dudes.
Indiana's definitely, a lot of people sleep on Indiana, man. Hey, we're in the Midwest, man. A lot of people sleep on it. Well, no, I ain't going to say people sleep on the Midwest, period, but definitely Indiana, Indianapolis,
I hear you. I know it's not a dangerous place. What type of neighborhood did you grow up in? Was it predominantly black? Was it white kids trying to, get into the mix? What was it like?
Look, like I said, a little bit of both, man. You know what I mean? A little bit of both, man. I grew up in the inner city, man. I could walk downtown, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about probably in a car 7-8 minutes from downtown. You know what I mean? So I'm right on the outskirts of the city. You know what I mean?
And I know eventually.
But it was a poverty-stricken area, man. We made the best of it. You know what I'm saying? You see typical shit you see, in inner cities like that, man. Junkies running around, homeless people. You know what I mean? Just typical shit that you'd see in any other, big city. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. And I know what you mean. But anyway, listen to this. Growing up, right? What was your household like? Did your father work? Was your father present? Were your parents married? What was your life like, man? Because we're going to get into, white kids that sell crack, I guess. So tell me what was, the motivating factor to that. What was your family life like?
I grew up with my grandmother, man. My mom and my father separated when I was like 1 year old. So I grew up with my mom and my grandmother. My mom had custody of me, but I grew up with my grandmother, really, man. I grew up in grandma's house, grew up with grandma. You know what I mean? Always been with grandma, so. Was
your father a drug addict or a drug dealer or anything like that?
He's not a drug addict. No, he's not a drug addict. And, whatever he did back in his day, man, that was then, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I know eventually you end up catching a Fed case because that's how we first started talking. You had reached out to me. You're like, yo, Chad, man, I caught this Fed case. Can you kind of give me
my first case ever, yeah.
You gotta let me talk too, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you hit me up and you're like, hey, look, man, I kind of want to know what's going on. I'm a little bit nervous. I caught this case. And I kind of tell you what I think's going to happen, and that's what happens, right? And people will probably be wondering, like, damn, you caught a Fed case but didn't go to jail, and wondering why. We'll get into that, right? But let's talk a little bit about what leads up to you catching the Fed case and what leads up to you getting shot in the street on 2 different occasions. You start hustling, you tell me you were selling a little bit of weed or whatever, and then eventually it escalates to what? Crack?
Yeah, well, I was selling weed and crack. I started selling crack when I was 15, man. Like I said, I really went too deep with the work, man. I would, I'd grab a little bit of powder around the first, man, whip it up and, do it around the first, man, get everybody's checks, and then I kind of, kind of just go back to doing my thing with the tree, you know what I mean? Then when I was around 17, man, I started getting it with the glass, man. The ice, started messing with that.
So let me ask you this. You're 17 years old, kind of putting your life on the line. You could get robbed, obviously get shot, all of that crazy stuff, right? How much money do you think you were making a week on an average, man? Was it $2,000, $5,000, $10,000? What do you think you were making profit?
My profit?
Yeah.
I'd say my probably estimate, man. It's hard to say, because every week's different, man. Like I said, the prices was different back then. They was a lot higher, but I was making, a couple grand. A few grand. Actually, that's a few grand.
So you say a few grand. Do you think it was worth your life? Was it worth maybe catching a Fed case, getting killed out there?
No. And that was, like I said, that was at the start, too. Like I said, when I was 17, when I was younger, when I was doing that, you know what I mean? But no, it still wouldn't worth. I feel like ain't shit worth your life, man. Excuse my language, but ain't nothing worth your life.
Let me ask you this, right? You're out there, you're getting a couple dollars, you're 17. What were you thinking, man? What were your dreams? That someday you're going to get rich, that you're going to be a big baller? I mean, what was going through a 17-year-old's mind at that time?
At that time, man, no, I was not. I did not have no longevity thinking at that time, man. I did not have no type of longevity, long term thinking, man. I was kind of just living in the moment, man. Yeah, kind of, dumb younger kid, man. Just thinking I'm gonna stack up this money off doing this, and didn't really have no plan with it, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of people get in the game and have no plan, and they end up dead sometimes, right?
Yeah. I know a lot of people that have. So yeah, I know what you mean.
And eventually, man, you end up involved in a situation, right, where you get hit up, man. Let's talk a little bit about it because that's what people are going to want to know about.
Yeah.
What's that over? Is it over, someone trying to rob you? Is it over a drug debt? Is it because of beef? What's it over?
Just beef, man. Beef altercation with a man, with another individual, man. I actually went there, man. I went where it happened at, to the place it happened at, and right over off Washington Street, and I got out trying to fight with him, and he pulls out big old pistol, man, and ends up popping me twice with that man, and shattered the first bullet, shattered my hip, because as soon as I see him pull it out, I try to turn, you know what I mean, and all I hear is bow, bow, and then it blew my eardrums out, you know what I mean, because being so close, you know what I mean, because he pretty much was point blank range, touching me almost with it, you know what I mean. I mean, we was pretty close. The first bullet shattered my hip. I had 4 surgeries due to it. First bullet shattered my hip. Then when I turned around, it went through my back, hit me in my back, and went through my back, my lower back, and that's what gave me the colostomy bag that I had for almost 4 years. So I actually drove myself from the where it happened at about 3-4 blocks over to an AutoZone. I was able to drive there, and when I pulled in there, man, it was early, man. It was like 8:30, 8 in the morning when I got shot, man. So the AutoZone was just opening, man. And I pull up in there crazy. I got the picture right here. I'm looking at of the scene, man.
Hold on a second. Let me ask you something. You pull up on the AutoZone, but I know they fix cars. They don't fix people, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But and you said you turned. I mean, you was getting ready to take flight when he hit you. Like, oh, I'm out of here.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I was out of there when I seen him pull. He whipped it out. He had it on. He had on a real big hoodie. I couldn't even tell he had it on him. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just getting out trying to scuffle with the dude. You know what I mean?
I want to know. I want to know, and I'm sure the viewers want to know. What was the issue over? Was it over a chick? Was it over money? What was it over?
The chick, man. I was over chick, man.
I ask you that because, there's so many young dudes out here, man, losing their life. They're getting popped the same way you just talked about, right? They're beefing, man, on Facebook, whatever, man. It is what it is, or it might be, people at a dice game, like the thing with Takeoff. Man, people are beefing over nonsense, man. And you think you're going into a fight, and this dude's, he's prepared to take your life, man.
Yeah. And it was dumb, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was over a dumb situation. You know what I'm saying? It was that the situation was stupid. What it was over. I had been nagging at him. I had been nagging at him for probably a month, man. You know what I mean? I could never catch up with him, man. You know what I mean? He wasn't on that time. He wasn't trying to do what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? But
I think. Hold up now. Hold up. I think he was trying to do more than you were prepared to do. It looks like.
Well, yeah. Look what happened. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more. You get over to the auto place, right? You're looking for a tune-up. What happens?
I hop in the car right after it happens. Like I said, my dude was with me. One of my older dudes, man. Buddy, he's dug down in the passenger seat. You know what I'm saying? So right when he hit me, man, I told you I turned. You know what I mean? And he hit me again in my back. My eardrums was just, and it just stopped me. It's crazy because you don't feel no pain, man. I mean, I don't know other people. You know what I mean? Maybe have different experiences. but I didn't. You don't feel no pain at first, man. There's no pain at all. I don't know if it's the shock going through your body or what, but it stopped me dead in my tracks, and my ears was just ringing, and I'm like in his, right in a driveway, what I'm saying, right there, and out by the street, and my car's parked right there where I pulled up at in the street, and it stopped me dead in my tracks, man, and I'm looking at the car, man, and I turn around, I look at him, and he's taking off, running up this driveway, man. And I kind of look back, and my dude's got the window rolled down. He's telling me, he's like, come on, come on, come on. And I was in so much shock, like I said, I look at my dude, and I'm like, I said, I think he just shot me. I mean, I knew he did. I knew he did, but it's just the shock of it, man. You know what I mean? It just takes a minute for something like that to sink in, man. You know what I mean? Then when I finally run to the car, he's like, come on, man, come on. So I hop in the car, man, I'm driving. And as soon as I got in the car, it's starting to settle in even more. And I see all the blood everywhere, man. The blood was that thick in the floorboard, man. I mean, it was so much blood, man. I lost so much blood that day, man. The paramedics and everybody even was talking about it. It was crazy. So yeah, I hop in the car, man, and we're taking off, and everything's settling in, but I'm thinking, I didn't know where I got shot at first. Like I said, I'm not feeling no pain. You know what I mean? I'm in shock. I didn't know. So I'm thinking I just got hit in my leg. I'm seeing all this blood as I'm driving. You know what I mean? And when I hit up to Washington Street, that's what the AutoZone's on. I was on a little side street. I was gonna go ahead, man, and the dude that was with me that day, man, he did say, I will say, he saved my life, man, because I was gonna go ahead. I was probably 15 minutes from the hospital, maybe a little bit more. I was gonna just bust a left and gun it to the hospital. You know what I mean? I didn't want to wait on no ambulance or no shit like that. And like I said, I just thought I got hit in my leg. You know what I mean? I didn't know the extent of anything, of everything.
So you call the ambulance. The ambulance ends up coming, right?
Yeah. Like I said, my dude grabbed the wheel. When I go to turn left, my dude grabs the wheel and yanks it out. We out in the middle of the street. We turn back, bust back right. He's like, no. He's on the phone calling 911, and he's telling them, they're trying to ask where we're at, and he's like, pull right here, and then the AutoZone was right there. So I just whip in the AutoZone real fast. You know what I mean? Pull up, boom. There's not that many people in there because it's so early. Like I said, it's like 8 in the morning, man. They just open, 8:30 in the morning. They just open. So I pull up all crazy, I hop out, and as I hop out, I'm running up into the entrance of the AutoZone, and I'm taking my coat off, man. Because like I said, I'm still thinking that I just got shot in my leg. You know what I mean? For some reason, I'm not knowing. You know what I mean? And I'm not feeling nothing yet. I'm running on this and everything, running on a shattered hip. I don't feel nothing. I'm taking my coat off as I'm running in there, trying to see kind of where I got hit at. You know what I mean? And then I get in the doors, and right when I get in the door, I tell the people, man, I'm like, hey, somebody call an ambulance. I just got shot. And then right then, at that moment, everything gave out. I fell flat on my face, on my stomach. And then that's when all the pain started settling in. And it felt like, man, the best way to describe the pain is pressure. And that's probably because my colon got ripped too. You know what I'm saying? But pressure in my lower half of my body, man. It felt like somebody took a dump truck and set it on the lower half of my body.
Damn.
I mean, that's the best way to describe it. You know what I mean? And then I just remember, laying there with my hands out, laying on my stomach. I remember all the people, chaos, panic around me. And I remember there's people trying to come up and hold like towels on me and shit. Excuse my language. And hold towels on me and stuff, man. And I remember telling myself my hands was out in front of me, and I'm kind of looking out in front of me, and I remember telling myself, just don't pass out, just don't pass out, just don't pass out, Tyler, just don't pass out. Because I just had this feeling I knew if I passed out, I was gonna die.
Let me stop you for a minute. Do you end up dying this time? Because I know you told me you died once, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Listen, and so I I start feeling my hands go numb as I'm telling myself, don't die, don't die. You know what I mean? Just stay awake. Don't, you know what I mean? Just stay awake, stay awake. Don't pass out. My hands start going numb. And then I'm like, oh man, you know what I mean? That really got me tripping out. Well, I could hear at that time right then, I don't know how long exactly I had been in there on the ground. Everything's going so fast and moving so fast when stuff like that happens, man. But I remember being able to hear the sirens in the distance from the ambulance, and that's the last thing I remember. And that's actually when I lost my life. They had to actually bring me back. They couldn't leave. They couldn't leave when my grandmother got to the scene. They already had it yellow taped off. I was still, because I think that's so stupid, man. I think they should change that. I don't know if it's like that where you're from, you know what I mean? But until they get you in stable condition, like if you're gonna die, if you're not in stable condition, they can't leave the scene. So because I had died and I wasn't in stable condition yet, we're still sitting in the parking lot in the back, and I'm in the back of the ambulance, and they're working on me, getting me back to life and stuff. Well, when my grandma gets to the crime scene, they already got it yellow taped off everything. And my grandma tries to run up there, and they wouldn't even let her get nowhere near there. They said, and she asked what's going on, and they told her that they was investigating a possible fatality, possible homicide, and so that she broke down. My grandma actually almost pretty much had a heart attack, small heart attack, dropped down, fainted, all that.
So let me ask you this: now you're on the floor and your hands go numb and you're starting to die. Do you see Jesus? Does he show up like that little boy in that book? I died and went to heaven. What do you see?
It sucks because I'm a very religious man. I grew up Catholic, man. I'm still Catholic, but I just believe because it wasn't my time. But no, man, I don't have one of them stories, man. I didn't see no light, didn't see no stairs. I didn't see nothing, man. It was just like being blacked out, man.
Damn,
but
man.
I believe because that wasn't my time.
Damn, bro, there goes the interview, man. I thought you seen Jesus and you walked around and you were going to tell us all kinds of cool-ass stuff happened.
I got to give it to you real, man. You know what I
mean? I'm messing with you, man. It's all good. So anyway, you get to the hospital. They save you. You get your life back. You go back home. Are you back in the streets, though, after you get shot?
Well, after I get shot, man, I was in the hospital for months, man. Like I said, I had to go through like I think 7 months of physical therapy, at home physical therapy. I had to learn how to walk again, and my mom and my grandmother and my grandfather, none of them never told me this because they didn't want me to get they didn't want me to get this in my head, and kind of get in my head, so they wanted me to keep fighting for it. So they didn't tell me, but they told them the probability of me walking ever again was very, very slim. They said I probably would never walk again. But like I said, my family didn't tell me that,
Yeah.
So I kept, I kept fighting. I went to physical therapy all them months, man. Was in a wheelchair, and I ended up going home after a couple months, man. Doing at home physical therapy 3 times a week. And then I remember the first time I actually got my leg up off the ground. That's when I knew, I got it up probably a half inch, but that's when I knew I had movement, and I knew I'm like, yep, I'm gonna be able to do this. You know what I mean? And I ended up getting up on the walker, man, within about 8 months, man. So getting up on the walker and walking, and back right when I got back in the walker, mobile. I was back out, I was back out doing my thing, you know what I mean?
So now let's talk a little bit about this second time, right? I mean, you're back, you're healthy, you're able to walk, you're able to move. You get hit up again. How does that happen?
No, I didn't get shot 2 separate occasions, no.
I thought you got hit up on 2 separate occasions.
I got shot twice, but not 2 separate occasions. I got shot 2 times.
Well, I was about to say, bro, you're a wild dude, like the Wild West up in this joint.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so you're back in the street, man. You're hustling, and eventually you catch a Fed case. What happens? They bust in your house. What's going on?
I had a. This is years later. You know what I'm saying? I got shot in late 2015. I catch my case in late 2018. Uh, I was renting a double 2 doors down from my grandmother's house, and was letting kind of let my junkie stay in there. You know what I mean? Just kind of, you know what I mean? And then I got grandma's a couple houses down. You know what I mean? And when I got raided that morning, they had kicked in both doors. They raided both houses. Kicked in, my grandmother's door and my house. And what was the rest of the question?
I know you ain't high right now, right?
Nah, man. I'm on draft, man.
All right, so let's talk about this. So you're hustling. They bust in your house. What do they find, bro?
They I had 3 firearms. Well, I had 1 firearm next to me on the couch, and I had 2 firearms, 21 grams of fentanyl, 20 grams of methamphetamine, and 10 grams of heroin, and the 2 firearms all in a backpack together in my room, put up.
Were you using at that time? Were you getting high as well?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was doing my thing, but money wise, but I was getting high too. Yeah.
So you're kind of hustling
on the no. I never did I never got into no meth. I'm not no quacker. I never got into meth or nothing like that.
Well, I mean, really, I'm saying you're kind of hustling to support your own habit, right? I mean, you didn't get caught with much.
Right. Well, I guess you could say that, but I mean, no, I had been hustling, man, before I was using, and it wasn't just. I was, I had shit, man. I wasn't somebody out here just keeping afloat, man. I had Tahoe on 26s, man. You know what I mean? New Cadillac, well, not new Cadillac, but newer, nice ass Cadillac. You know what I mean? I had some decent shit, man. You know what I mean? I wasn't just somebody trying to stay afloat. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not saying that you were a bum, but I'm saying a lot of that, when you're caught up in that, you're kind of hustling. Yeah, you got some nice stuff. You're getting high at the same time, and really, you're taking a chance with your life. You end up going to federal court. You don't go to prison, even though you got a 924C, right? Tell the people.
Yeah, the 924C though, that was wrongfully, and on my last plea, my new plea, the prosecutor took that off because, man, I shouldn't have been charged with that because I was not trafficking. You know not all about the 924C. That's trafficking.
I'm an expert on it, brother. 924C is possession of a firearm and furtherance of a drug trafficking crime.
Right.
And or a crime of violence.
Right, and I was not in a crime of violence, and I was not trafficking either. I was just using it as like a storage. You know what I mean? Everything was just put away. You know what I mean? Put up. You know what I mean?
So the gun wasn't present. Hold on. So the gun wasn't present to protect the drugs, right?
You said no. I have my gun permit.
No, but what I'm telling you can have a gun permit and still get a 924C and end up with 50 years. What I'm telling you is that in order to be convicted of that 924C, that firearm has to be there to protect the drugs. So if it's just a storage, I mean, maybe you get away with it or get out of it, but that's not the moral of the story here. The moral of the story is you don't go to prison because of what? Your medical condition, right?
Yes. My medical condition absolutely saved everything, man.
Show the people your hand. I want to see what your hand.
Got to, yeah.
I want to see what your hand looks like.
Yeah. Take a look at that. Can you see it good?
Got
2 fingers. That's it on the left hand.
I see it, man. We've had enough. Thank you. Damn. That's wicked right there, bro. Let me ask you this, though. So you got a medical condition that you're born with, man, that affects you and you lose your fingers and all of that stuff. What is it?
It is called Proteus syndrome. You can look it up. Anybody can look it up. It's spelled just how it sounds. Proteus syndrome. Proteus syndrome.
And what is that, man? What does it do?
It's tumors, man, all through my body. Like I got 2 tumors intact right now next to my airway. Tumors all in my left arm. When I was born, I told you I had the football-sized tumor that they removed on the right side, connecting from my right arm to my side. They removed that though. Tumors wrapped around my aorta, my heart. All my organs are enlarged. You know, it's really extensive, man. It acts like the tumors act like cancer, but they're not. They're benign, which means benign means they're not cancers, but they act like cancer, and they can't ever remove them all. So what they got to do is, you know, I've had over 40 major surgeries. That's not. I'm not talking about outpatient surgeries, and I'm not talking about related the four related to the gunshot. I'm talking about due to my medical. I've had over 40 major surgeries with this. They can't ever remove them. All they can do is kind of maintain them. They go in and reduce them. You know what I mean? So like they don't end up wrapping around my heart and my organs and shit like that. You know, I got the two. You know what I mean? There's not nobody. I'm 28 right now. I was born in '94. There's never been nobody that's lived past the age of 29 years old with what I have.
And that's wild. Is that why the judge doesn't send you to federal prison? Does he have sympathy for you, compassion? What does he say?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he didn't necessarily come out and say that, but from me talking with my lawyer and all that, you know, and everything, yeah, that's you know, my doctor even wrote a letter and even said, you know, me being incarcerated like that, you know, I get infections because I told you I have to wrap my right arm, you know what I mean? Because it bleeds every day from them removing that tumor when I was born. So I get it. I've had like cellulitis. I don't know. Some people, for some of your viewers, will probably know what that is. It's kind of like MRSA. If you ever heard of that.
I know what it is, but you know,
Okay.
the moral of the story
But
is
my doctor wrote in and told the judge, you know, that if for me to be I would be taking a I'm at very, very high risk of losing my limb or losing my life.
man, that's a wild man. You got a wild story, bro. You would think, man, with all them health conditions that you know you'd want to fall back and stay out of the way and not be involved in any type of crime, right? At least that's what I would think.
Well, man, you know, I'm now that you know you get older, man, you see things differently, man. But you know, I was younger, man, and the way I grew up, you know what I mean, the way I grew up, the people I grew up around with, man, you know, uh, over on the west side, like I said, you know, everybody knows me, man. Everybody can vouch for Little Tyler, man. You know, I mean, the way I grew up, man, it's just kind of was just, you know, it was gonna happen, man. It's just, you know, it's just the way I grew up, man. I mean, you know, I can't take it back, you know what I mean? I can't, you know what I mean? That's just my lifestyle, man.
Let me ask you this: now you're 28 years old. You know, you ended up getting out of this whole incarceration thing because of your health conditions. What are you doing with your life now? Do you work a job? Are you able to work? I mean, what are you
No,
doing?
I am considered disabled.
I mean, do you do any work though on the side to kind of help yourself out?
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. Right now, I'm focused on my health, man. You know, I'm gonna be the first person. Like I said, nobody ever lived past 29 with this condition. Well, I'm gonna be the first person to do that. You know what I mean? You know, so you know, I'm just focused on my health and staying healthy and all that. You know, man. So I've had to have 4 blood transfusions, man, in the past, I think 8 months, man. I'm very anemic, which that actually got caused from me being shot. But still, you know,
Well, at
it's
the end
just
of the day, man, this is what's up, Tyler. Right? This is the deal. I mean, you're alive. You're free. You know that's what matters, right? And you said, you know, you're going to be the first one to do it. You're going to live past 29. I mean,
oh yeah,
they told you weren't going to walk, and you believed in yourself, and you got up and walked. And that's kind of what the story is today, right? People got to
yeah,
believe in themselves, man. If you don't believe it, no one else will. I had a friend that
right,
used to tell me that in prison. I used to be like, man, you think I'm ever going to get out of jail? He used to say, you know what? Cedric Dean, he'd tell me, he said, man, if you don't believe it, no one else will. And
right.
that's kind of what I think the message is today. You got to believe in yourself, man. You
You
got to
have
push
to.
forward. When
You
things seem
have to.
impossible, you got to be the dude to make them possible. Do you believe that?
Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely, that is 100% true, man.
So,
100%.
so Tyler, listen, man, I'm going to get ready to close the show, right? But before we go, is there anything you'd like to say to the people, say to the viewers?
Yeah, man. Actually, man, I would, I'm wanting to get into this YouTube stuff myself, man. I got a YouTube, you know, I got an account, man. If any of you would like to look me up, man, and you know, subscribe or follow to me, man. I'm gonna be putting out some content here soon, and then also, you can follow me. My Instagram, uh, I locked myself. It didn't even get hacked, man. I locked myself out of it, but I'm gonna be getting back in it shortly. I'm gonna contact customer care. So, if anybody wants to look me up on Instagram, uh, my Instagram username is 1800. So 1800 BLK underscore BIG big 22. That's my Instagram username, so y'all can follow me there. And too, y'all can look me up on Facebook too, man. Tyler Hunter. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm gonna be coming with the YouTube stuff, man. So be on the lookout for that.
When you get done saying that, you got to do some stuff like DJ Clue. DJ Clue, new music, new music. Hype the people up, man. But anyway, listen, man. Again, I appreciate you coming on, bro. You got a crazy,
you having me, man.
No doubt, you got a crazy ass story, man. And you know what? I really hope you make it past 29. I hope you make it past 39 and then 49. One step at a time, man. And I believe you. Believe in yourself and stay out of the streets, man, because it's not for you, bro. But I'm going to close the show. Tell people if they like what they heard, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.